The Mbulu is an African river species of Zulu people who appears to be humanoid at first, that is, until you get a closer look. This closer inspection reveals scaly skin, sharp teeth, and a tail with a mouth of its own and teeth of its own. This creature is known for following people onto land, whispering sweet nothings into their ear, taking the lonely under its wing, and forcing them into servitude. Often disguised as a beautiful woman, this is one creature that you definitely need to be mindful of. The story goes once there was a widow who tragically lost all of her children except for one. Because of this, she lost the will to live on her own. So she gave her only living daughter a stick and sent her off to go to her uncle's home. The only instruction the mother gave her daughter is that once she reaches her uncle's house, to tap the stick on the ground and all of her possessions would rise from the earth. As the girl set out through the woods, she turned back to look at her home to see it completely on fire. This is when she knew what her mother had plans to do. Saddened by this, the girl knew she had no choice but to continue on to her uncle's home. She kept upon the bank of the river and would encounter what she thought was a man sitting on a rock. When she approached, he said, "Whoever got wet when walking near the water must go in and bathe." His hidden tail then thrashed in the water so hard it splashed the girl's face. Obediently, she went into the river to bathe. While she was in the water, the man, whom was really an Mbulu, took her clothes and put them on. When the girl came out, she politely asked, "Can I have my clothes?" The Mbulu told her at first, "I will return them when you are dry." So trustingly, the girl continued to walk with him and once more asked, "Can I have my clothes back?" This time he responded, "I will return them when we arrive at the next village." Upon arriving at the village, the girl begged once more for her clothes, and still the Mbulu refused and told her to tell everyone she was his servant. Now, the girl was afraid of the Mbulu, for she realized she was dealing with a powerful and strange being. She obeyed him, and so people imagined Mbulu to be an important woman with fine clothes, and the girl is her servant. They did wonder why his voice was so deep for a woman, though, but the only thing the Mbulu replied is that they were quite ill. After a while, the Mbulu married a man from the village, and while the poor girl was sent to work in the fields. While working, she regained her voice and began to sing about her enslavement and adventures. The woman working near her heard her songs and made a plan to see if they were true. Since it is known that the tail of a true Mbulu is always hungry and always hidden and has a will of its own, the woman set a trap to expose the creature. She dug a hole and filled it with milk and then demanded everyone in the village jump over it. The Mbulu was reluctant, though, but since everyone else was doing it, he had no choice. So he tried to jump quickly, but the tail was out of control and could not pass up the milk. Coming out of hiding, the tail began to drink the milk. Outraged, the visitors killed the Mbulu and buried it in the hole. The man who had mistakenly married the Mbulu married the girl instead, who had been the Mbulu's servant. She had a child, and one day while it was playing, a pumpkin which grew from the ground where the Mbulu had been buried tried to unalive the child. The villagers hacked the pumpkin into pieces and burned it, then threw the ashes into the river. Finally rid of the threat forever, the girl regained her courage and set out with her husband and child and the stick her mother gave her to visit her uncle. When they reached his house, she tapped the stick on the ground, and all of her possessions rose as promised from her mother, which she shared with her family.